Hi everyone, welcome to class today. It is the last Sunday of the month, so that means it is restorative day. Today we are going to do legs up the wall, or a variation of that. Since we're working on surrender this month, I feel like legs up the wall can be a really great way to get into a position and just kind of sit there and just relax and really surrender yourself into this place of quiet and stillness. So let me show you a few different options depending on how your body is feeling today. If you are in a chair, it would be great if you could get another chair or be up close enough to maybe a bed or a footstool, something like that you can put your feet up on. And you can make the same shapes with your legs that we'll be making with ours if you're going to be laying on the mat. Also, the option legs up the wall is exactly that. You're going to scoot as close as you can to the wall and swing your legs up on the wall. If that doesn't quite work for you, that feels like it's too much on the low back, or that just isn't a very comfortable position, I want you to find some pillows and kind of stack them up. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like with bolsters. Okay, so I've got two bolsters here, and you can kind of choose to do the height that works best for you. But I'm going to take one across this way, kind of make a T, and then put the other one up like a ramp almost. And what I would do is I would sit in front of it. You're going to come all the way down and bring the legs up onto the bolster. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to figure out what works best for you. Obviously, you can always pause this, and then once you got your all setup going, go ahead and restart it. But I'll start with a little bit of breath work to give yourself some time to settle in. And because you might not be able to see me during this practice, I'll be sure to use lots of different ways to describe the shape that we're making. And as always, especially with restorative yoga, we want it to be really comfortable. So if that just means finding a shape that works for you, and maybe it looks absolutely nothing like the shape that I'm making, that is completely okay. And it's exactly where I want you to be. So again, remember, this time is for you to rest, to find some stillness, to kind of find that reset. Restorative yoga is the time to let that nervous system settle. So we switch from that sympathetic nervous system, that stress response, to our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our relaxation response. So hopefully we're settling in, getting all nice and comfy, and we'll get started with some breath. So I'm going to move into my shape. So whether you're on a chair with your ramp, or if the legs are all the way up the wall, we're just going to start with them relaxed and somewhat straightish. So just kind of next to each other, legs are parallel with one another. Arms can rest wherever. If you're on the mat, just kind of feeling the body settle in. You can always add a pillow underneath the head. If you're seated, allow yourself to rest back onto the back of the chair. And we'll take a few ha breaths. In restorative, they're called settling in breaths. It's just a long, slow inhale and a long, slow exhale. Allow the muscles in the face to soften. Notice the jaw, neck, shoulders. See if those spaces can be a little more soft. Wonderful. You're more than welcome to stay in this shape, especially if it feels very restful for you. If you feel like moving, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the sides, kind of making a butterfly shape. And everyone's going to look a little different. Feel free to adjust and move around a bit as the body settles in here. And once the body feels settled, take a nice big breath in, nice long, slow inhale, and a long, slow exhale. Finding that settling in breath. As the body finds this still place, the mind can sometimes want to wander. So maybe bringing your awareness to the place where you feel the breath move in the body. That may be the chest, that may be the belly. Maybe you feel the back expand as you take a breath in. And just stay with that expansion and relaxation for several rounds of breath. And it kind of depends on what's calming to you, if counting is calming, or maybe just repeating those words, inhale, exhale. Or maybe you just like to feel the breath. Feel how far that breath reaches outward through the body. Whatever is a good anchor for you here. Stick with it for about 10 more rounds of breath. Wonderful. Again, you can stay right in this shape if this feels really restful for you. Otherwise, bring the hands to the outer thighs and gently support the legs as you bring them out straight one more time. Good. Maybe wiggle the toes a little bit. Take a soft circle of the ankles. We'll move into one more shape. We'll do one side and then the other. So we'll start with the right side, and as always, there's several different options here. You're going to take the right knee out to the side, so this might be a comfortable shape. Maybe you just turn that right knee out a little bit, slide that right foot somewhere along the inside of the left leg. If it feels okay for the joints in the lower body, you can even take your right ankle to your left thigh. And depending on how that feels, you can also begin to bend that left knee, kind of sliding that left foot slightly down the wall, hugging that right leg closer towards the belly or chest. So this stretch is mostly for your right outer hip, outer thigh area. You might feel it in a different space. As long as there's no discomfort around the knee joint, especially ankle or hip joint, finding most of that sensation in the muscle, staying here. And you can choose to bring that leg in as close to you as you like. Always know you can shift and move at any point in time. If you're taking the option of kind of hugging that right leg closer in towards you, especially if your legs are up the wall, you might feel the pelvis or the low back kind of lifting up, like where the tailbone is, kind of lifting up off the mat. I want you to gently press that tailbone back down towards the mat. So we want to try to keep the pelvis here at a neutral shape. And just taking that tiny little press, like you're trying to reach the tailbone down towards the floor. We're going to even out the pelvis, and you also might even feel more of a deeper stretch here on that right thigh. We're going to stay here for about 1 more minute. So keep that breath going. Finding that settling in breath, softening what you can. About 10 more rounds of breath. And slowly coming back to that starting position with both legs parallel to each other. Let's try the same stretch on the other side. So maybe that left knee bends outward a little bit, kind of making it into a little wing shape. If it feels okay, left ankle can come to right thigh. Or you can even start to bend that right knee, hugging the left leg in closer to you. So as you do that, you may notice that this side feels different than the first. That's very normal. So be sure to find the option that feels right for this side. Settling in breaths. Softening muscles in the face, hands, jaw, shoulders. And again, if you notice that low back lifting up slightly off the mat, try to reach the tailbone down towards the floor a little bit more, finding that neutral pelvis, keeping the sacrum nice and happy. About 10 more breaths here. Slowly releasing that side. Coming back to that straight-legged position. Again, maybe wiggling the toes, maybe circling the ankles. And we'll move towards our relaxation pose, which can be any shape that feels really, really relaxing. So if you enjoyed one of those leg shapes for legs up the wall, you're more than welcome to move into that, or you can even stay in this straight-legged position. If you prefer to be flat on the mat or any other shape that you would like to rest in for a few more moments, take your time moving into that shape. So go nice and slow. Nice and slow. Moving almost too slow, like a sloth. Take the next 5 breaths or so to settle in to that final relaxation shape. And letting go, one more gentle sigh. Staying here as long as you'd like. Thank you for taking time out for yourself and to spend some time with me today.